Look at this meal here. This one made me hungry. The giant manicotti pasta noodle meal I made with the cheesy ground beef. That was honestly a cheap meal for me. Like, out of the only things I could find, out of the not much I could find, but the ground beef and everything was good. Oh, I could, but if I had the finance to do so, I can create some illustrious meals, some great meals. Oh, I'm one of the best cooks, chefs in existence, next to, these professional famous ones. But, oh, I'm an American style. I love my cheeses. I don't have any regard for anything of that nature. I'm all about taste and ingredients. Here's something I ate at the something tomatoes in Canada breakfast restaurant, but they have all different kinds of stuff. But I've been there multiple times, and I had heard about them long ago. What was their name? Something tomatoes, juicy tomatoes, sweet tomatoes restaurant, Canada. I know it'll come up. Stevie Tomatoes? No, it ain't. It's not Joe's. Giggling. Yep, it's a good one. Giggling. And you know who first told me about that place? Was Helen. Helen taught me or told me about Giggling Tomatoes and said it was a big thing in Ontario. People like to go over to Giggling Tomatoes and grab a bite to eat. So I made it a duty, and I went several times. Once by myself, once or twice by myself, and once or twice with a buddy named DA. And yeah, I tried quite a few things. Lots of breakfast, and heck, I could go again if I wanted. But I make a good meal at home. But if I want something quick, or not quick, but I want like something quality for a good price, this is a good restaurant in Canada to go to. They have really good breakfast. Some people just go to Giggling Tomatoes. That's their routine thing, and they come around. Um, when you're in there, they come around and pick up your dishes for you. Generally you have to wash your own dishes at home and things. But no, not at Giggling Tomatoes. They take care of that for you. They take care of it. That's the luxury. Cook your food for you, sweating in the kitchen over the hot stove or what have you. And then they serve it to you for you to enjoy without really having to lift the finger, and the family's happy. And then they come when you're finished and they come pick up your plates for you. You pay, and then you leave. Or you can stay as long as you want, really, and have a coffee. And one of those type of places. Steak and eggs. Never had the privilege of having their steak and eggs, but I had a steak and eggs on Steeles Avenue at the. Uh, well, I'd have to go search it up because I don't keep it in my mind too frequently. Steeles Avenue, Brampton Restaurant. Once I see the name, I'll be like, oh yeah. Wally's on Steeles. Yep, Wally's on Steeles. It says permanently closed on the Google. But yeah, I like Wally's on Steeles. They have a awesome airport vibe in there. Like, it felt like I just landed at Pearson and I'm here at night having a bite to eat, or maybe a drink. Like, they have some good beers. I think we had Stella Artois, to be exact. And I went there by myself too, but I went there with a couple guys, and I had the wings, just as you've seen, and they were very good. And I think my friend had the fish, and then I think the other guy had some fish too or whatnot. I can't remember, but it's some good stuff, some good food over there. And the women are amazing too. They have the women wear sort of like these t-shirts, and they wear this tight spandex pants. So the women are very good looking when they're serving your meals there. That's one thing I could note on. They have a bar area, small bar area, but no, it's much like um here it is in the No, no, that's Williams Fresh Cafe. Yeah, that's over at over by the by the Bramley City Center, I believe, over by the Peel Region building inside there. But here's the menu at Wally's on Steels. I had their steak and eggs there, and it was great. Had a light amount of Montreal steak seasoning on it. It was great. Um, souvlaki. They got a range of many different things. All day breakfast. Many other things. Great place for a good breakfast in the Brampton area or Toronto for that matter. You're landing. You don't want to go to busy Toronto. You want somewhere to relax and have a drink, get something to eat any time of the day or night. That's Wally's on Steels. Now, I've heard some things about that Steels. You know why? Because it's that Scrooge Skrilla and that Elias Don Million that give the bad reputation to Steels. Um, Basically, you want to watch over those two individuals. If you go over there, those are your two killers over there that have guns. They're black, and they run the Steeles Avenue area all the way into Toronto. They run the crack cocaine. They run all that stuff, and that's what I experienced during my visit to Steeles Avenue. But other than that, everybody's pretty normal. But if you go out to the streets, if you're in the streets or whatever, you have to take the bus. You got to watch out. Other than that, you drive up, I'm sure. But being a customer of there, it'd be something I'd be sitting in Wally's and Steels, and I'd be looking out the window, thinking about is those ones, such as that Alias Don Million and that Scrooge Skrilla. Who are those? Well, they're two rappers out of Toronto. They've been running that area for quite some time now, via rap, but also in the legal and illegal market when it comes to women as well as narcotics. Also, murder and violence trailed these two individuals. And during my experience on Steeles Avenue, I've heard the word Steeles Avenue, the name Steeles Avenue, and their music because I'm quite familiar with their music all the way through. So I knew it was sort of a bad area until I had actually went down there. And they're not down there all the time, but they definitely have their connections. There's that homeless shelter that's behind there, Wilkinson Road, where I think a lot of their affiliates are um, where a lot of their affiliates hang out or live for that matter, uh, at a full time basis. So they're moving narcotics in and out of there, human trafficking, and all that. And these are your ones, and they run that all the way from down in Toronto. But then you have the opposites of people that are just Wilkinson or at Steeles Avenue, and they live there, and maybe they don't. But so it's funny how that is. But that's what I noticed how it well, you learn quite quick about those streets how, like, say for instance, Steeles Avenue goes a certain way, but the streets all can land you throughout the greater Toronto area. So the same street that's in Brampton will take you to Toronto if you take that street all the way down, or up, or east to west, or north to south, or whatever. So I learned that. Like for instance, you hop on Derry from Brampton, you keep taking it, you go to Mississauga, and then et cetera, et cetera. So all the streets are connected. You don't have to take the highway. You could literally ride your e-bike from all over the Greater Toronto area. It's accessible in those sort of those streets and those buses and things. So that's why I always called it one city. And my Auntie Carolyn, well, I started saying it's all one thing now. GTA, that's what it is. One big city. People all around the world, they see Toronto, they're thinking of it as all one thing now. Brampton, Mississauga, everything. It's all Toronto. Even though you got individual names or whatever, it's one gigantic city, all interconnected together through highways, but also just city streets. Just regular, plain old city streets. Literally the exact same street that's in Toronto is the exact same street from Brampton and yada yada, with no interchanging or